Hello and welcome to another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. So following swiftly on the heels of the previous lesson where I was discussing the possibility of getting 4 3-string tunings out of one regular set of guitar strings, we are currently in DAD tuning, and I'm sure you all know this riff. Possibly the greatest drop D riff ever. I think it's well up there. This is of course Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine. Absolute classic from the 90s, great fun to play. Not as difficult as it sounds. I reckon, you know, if you've got a little bit of flexibility in the fingers, you can probably just about manage this one. So let's just get straight into having a go at the song. Alright, so if you want to check your tuning, we've got low D, middle A, high D, and as I was mentioning last time, this is still a power chord tuning like our regular GDG, so great for rock. And this particular tune, all about power chords, I would say. So let's get straight on with just having a go from the beginning. He does a big chord with the drums at the beginning, just hit the open strings, and then we've got a little riff which has got a funny kind of staggered thing going on. Now I was just hitting the low D string 3 times, but making it kind of bouncy without letting the notes ring out. And then I was going for frets 11 and 12 on this string, and I think that's 16 and 17, so that's my top fret, and I'll show you an easier place if you've not got enough frets. But basically the timing is quite bouncy, so if this is the pulse, obviously it's flat pick playing this one, so we've got, so that's quite a sort of cross rhythm. It's like a triplet rhythm at the beginning on the low E's, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then that's 3 and 4 and on 11, 12, 16, 17. I'm just going to use 2 fingers and step up. So I'll just do that one more time. So it's 3, 4, triplet. You basically do that 4 times, but the 4th time, instead of going 16, 17, hit fret 17 and do a bend and release. So make sure your thumb's over the top like this. Can be quite difficult, particularly if you've got a thick string here, but just bend it up as much as you can and release it, which doesn't mean you lose the string like that. What it means is you relax the string back to its original pitch, sort of starting point. So scoop it up, straight back down again, 4th time. Now here's an alternate place you can play it. It's the same notes, but what we call an octave lower. So instead of playing these 2 at 11 and 12 on the top string, we can play 4 and 5 on the middle string, and that allows us to, instead of jumping up on one string, we can take those notes at 16 and 17 and play them at frets 4 and 5 as well. 4, 5, 4, 5. A bit more agreeable on the fingers, there's not any horrible jumps. So that'd be the same rhythm. Okay. This is the same key as the original, you know, so once you've learnt all this, you can have a play along with it, and it'd probably be easier to listen and try and get the timing from playing along with the tune, to be honest. But basically, once you've done that, after the bend, there's yet another bunch of triplets, and this time we've got low D again, and go for fret 6, quite a dark, dissonant thing going on there between those two. Fret 6 of the middle string. Again, 3 straight repeats, and then the last time. So with this tuning, on regular guitar, people sometimes use what you call octaves to make riffs, which is just where you play one note and then the same one but higher. So in this tuning, it's quite easy because of the same frets. So if this is D, A, D, then that's an octave. So if I want to go right up to 13, that's also an octave between those two notes. So the fourth time around that bit, just do a quick down up strum. Now you might want to clip it quickly because we've got a bit of noise up there. So here's the third time and here's the fourth time, down up and then clip it, and then we're into the main riff. So again, we're in the key of D. Let's have a nice power chord. You can just play a couple of strings, play all 3. But after this, I'll just explain about hammer-ons and pull-offs in a minute, but it's basically 3, 5, and then he does a couple of mutes, which I'll explain in a minute as well. And then it's 3, 4, 5 on the middle string. So we've got chord, 3, 5, string, mutes. That was on the middle string. 3, 4 on the top string, 5 on the middle string, low D. And then just to finish off, a couple more power chords. So I'm doing a little cheeky bar here, just on string 2, fret 2, sorry, of the 2 low strings, low D and A. And then I'm going to use my first finger there. I'm going to try and use my second finger at fret 3, right next door. And it's just 2, 3, 2. So right at the end we've got okay. Hammer-ons. There's a whole lesson on this. I'll put a link to it, but basically it's a little technique where you pluck a note with your normal picking hand, and then you can create extra notes with your fretting hand. So the trick is don't actually release the pressure with this one. Just tap down quickly. You've got to have your hand in a decent position so your fingers can move freely. But basically hold that in position, tap down onto fret 5, and that is hammering on to fret 5. The opposite, it'd be a pull off, where you pluck a higher note and flick on off to a lower one. But we're just using hammer-ons here. So we've got the chord, we've got a hammer-on straight away, 3 to 5 on the middle string, and then so mutes are, fretting hand mutes are where you make it sound completely percussive. We've completely killed the pitch, we've lost the note. All it sounds like is just a percussive sort of drum hit or something. So you need, in order to do that, you've just got to rest super lightly on the strings, and any pressure will sound messy because you're getting like half a note. So directly after the first hammer-on, you've got mutes, so you've just got to, straight from the hammer-on, just relax, go super flat across all the strings. Having your thumb a bit further down is quite handy in order to be able to drop on with this flat position. But after you've done the mutes, so that's strumming, you're then hammering on again, but this time on the top string from fret 3 to fret 4. So I'm going to use fingers 1 and 2 here. I used fingers 1 and 3 for the first hammer-on, 1 and 2, and then straight back to finger 3 on fret 5 after the hammer-on. So pick, hammer, and then open. Now, if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can hammer on the chords at the end. That's how he plays it. It sounds really good. But if your instrument's a little bit sort of physical to play, you can pick each one. It still sounds good. That's the riff basically. So chord, hammer, string, mute, hammer, fret 5, open, hammer the chord, 2, 3, and re-pick again. So that's your verse. You can experiment with a bit of palm muting. He kind of drops it down a little bit when the vocals come in, but then builds it up again for the chorus, which starts in the same way. Chord, hammer, mute, but this time we're going right up to fret 9. And then do all that again. Chord, hammer, mute, 8, chord, hammer, mute, 7, chord, hammer the power chord at fret 2. So that's a repeated change between 2 and 3 on the power chord there. So it's 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. And again, you'll have to pick each one if it's a bit tough to play. So start the chorus. Chord, hammer, mute, 9, chord, hammer, mute, 8, chord, hammer, mute, 7, chord. Do it all again. All the way through to 7. This time finish it off by going to a different power chord shape. So we're going for fret 3 on the middle string, and we're going for fret 5 on the high D, and this is a C chord. And you just plough through with a lot of fast downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the end of the chorus. So I'll just do that second half one more time. Then C, then we can go for another octave. So that's this time it's a D octave. So just fret 12 and fret 12. And this bit is very, very percussive. It's basically down, up, down, and it's a break. It's a sort of a build-up. You can call this the bridge, post-chorus bridge, and then you start going. There's some profanities kicking in at this point, and then you start building it up. Again, string muting, very, very percussive. Dead simple ideas, super effective, and it's also gone swung at this point as well. So the first part is a straight rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3. So all of your faster notes at even length, but this bridge all of a sudden goes swung. So you've got So he's really making a feature of those fretting hand mutes at that point. And then eventually the groove kicks back in, which is... So you're strumming away on the octave, and if you've kind of got a grid of that rhythm, the ones that you sound are down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. Power chord, cover the bottom two strings, 3, 5. Third on the middle string, fret 3 on the middle string. Do that a lot, and then it goes completely back to the straight rhythm for verse 2, chorus 2. And I've not really covered much about the rhythm here. I mean, it's really catchy. It's really easy to remember, you know. So hopefully you can hear it and sort of understand what the timing should be, or potentially play along with the original as well. YouTube 75% tempo is an option when you're learning songs. You can slow videos down, but I'll just go through the counting quickly. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 do it all again, chorus that is, and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Alright, that's it. So have fun with this tune. I would strongly recommend learning this one because hours of entertainment. Now, it's maybe not beginner level, not complete beginner level, but it's not as difficult as it maybe initially sounds. A lot of the time when you get riffs with distortion on, you know, they sound pretty imposing, but you know, I think it's manageable. There's something to be said for writing catchy, simple riffs. You know, if you can do that, then you're onto a winner basically, and I think he's managed it with this one, definitely. Watch this space. We're going to be doing another DAD tune, which will maybe mix it up a little bit and go for a bit of slide on the next one. But have fun, and I'll see you here again soon on Coda Guitar.